I remember the sound of the clock. Tick, tock, tick, tock. Each second felt louder than the one before. I was standing in front of the class. My hands were cold. My face was red. My heart was loud. I was 8 years old, and I could not speak. The teacher smiled. Go ahead, Daniel, read the first line. I looked at the book in my hand. I knew the words. I had practiced last night with my mom. I wanted to do it. I really did. But my mouth didn't move. The words stayed inside me, stuck, frozen, afraid. The other children looked at me. First, they were quiet. Then I heard someone laugh, a small laugh. Then another. Come on, one boy whispered. It's easy. But it wasn't easy for me. I wanted to speak. I wanted to say anything, but I couldn't. The teacher looked sad. She walked over and gently took the book from my hands. It's okay, Daniel. Maybe next time. Next time. She always said, next time. But each next time felt worse. I sat down. My eyes were wet, but I didn't cry. I just stared at my desk and wished I could disappear. That was the day everything changed. That was the day I became the boy who couldn't speak. At home, I didn't tell my mom. I didn't want her to worry. She always tried to help me. She said, it's just a little problem, Daniel. You are smart. You are strong. You just need time. But I didn't feel smart. I didn't feel strong. At school, things got harder. When the teacher asked a question, I looked down. When the bell rang, I ran outside alone. I stopped trying. I stopped hoping. The other kids started calling me names. Mute boy, broken voice. It hurt. Every word hurt. But I stayed quiet. Because speaking was the hardest thing in the world for me. Then came the worst day. It was Monday, cold and gray. We had to do a group project in class. The teacher said, you will work in teams of 3. Everyone started choosing friends. I waited. No one chose me. Finally, the teacher said, Emma, can Daniel join your group? Emma was quiet. She looked at her 2 friends, then said, okay. We sat at a small table. Emma did most of the talking. Her voice was soft, but sure. The others whispered and laughed behind their hands. I knew they were laughing at me. I looked at Emma. She didn't laugh. She didn't smile either. She just kept writing. At the end of class, she gave me a paper. You can draw something for the project, she said. If you want. I nodded. And for the first time in a long time, I felt a little better. That night, I worked hard. I drew a picture of our topic, animals in the forest. I used colors. I added labels. I checked the words twice. It was good. Maybe not perfect, but good. The next day, I gave the drawing to Emma. She looked at it for a moment, then said, this is really nice. My heart felt warm. I smiled, just a little. But then Liam walked by. He looked at the picture and laughed. Did your mommy help you, Daniel? Or did you just guess the words? My smile disappeared. I wanted to answer him. I wanted to say I did it myself, but I couldn't. Liam kept laughing. Emma stood up. That's enough, she said. You're not funny. Liam looked surprised. Relax. It's just a joke. No, she said. It's not. Liam walked away. Emma sat down again and looked at me. You don't have to talk, Daniel, but I know you're smart. Those words stayed in my mind all day. After that, Emma sometimes talked to me at lunch. Just simple things. Hi, how are you? Did you watch the movie last night? Sometimes I answered with my hands. A nod, a smile, a small yes, and slowly, things began to change. One day, she gave me a notebook. This is for you, she said. You can write to me if you want. I'll write back. So I did. Every day, we wrote to each other. I told her about my dog, Max, about my favorite books, about my dream to become a wildlife photographer. She told me about her little brother, about her favorite song, about her dream to visit Africa. For the first time, I had a friend, and for the first time, I didn't feel alone. One afternoon, we were sitting under the big tree near the school gate. Emma looked at me and said, "Do you want to try saying one word? Just one." I looked down. My hands were shaking. She waited. I opened my mouth. Thank. I stopped. She smiled. "You did it," she said. "That's a big step." And it was a very big step. I started to try, just small words, one at a time, with Emma, no one else, not yet. But then, something happened, something that made me afraid again. Liam saw us talking. He saw me trying, and the next day, he told everyone, "Daniel's trying to talk now. Did you hear? He sounds like a robot." Everyone laughed. Everyone, except Emma. I looked at her. She was angry, but I was tired. Tired of trying, tired of hoping. So I stopped. Again. I didn't speak that day, or the next, or the next. Emma gave me space. But I saw the hurt in her eyes. She believed in me. I was the one who stopped believing. But then came the school talent day. The teacher said, "Each class will do something for the show. Who wants to help?" Emma raised her hand. "We can tell a story," she said, "with pictures and sounds." The teacher smiled. "Great idea. Who wants to help Emma?" Emma looked at me. "Daniel does." The whole class turned to look at me. I froze. I wanted to say no, but I saw her eyes. Kind, brave. She believed in me even now. So I nodded, and everyone stared in silence. I said yes, but I didn't know what I had just agreed to. The next day, Emma ran to me before class. She was smiling. "We're going to tell a story on stage," she said. "You and me." I nodded slowly. My stomach felt strange, not sick, but heavy. I wanted to help Emma, but I was afraid. "How?" I asked, using my notebook. She took a deep breath. "We can use pictures, sounds, music, and maybe if you feel okay, you can say one word, just one, at the end." One word, in front of everyone. I felt my chest get tight. Emma saw my face. She said gently, "Only if you want to, but I believe in you." We started working after school, every day for 2 weeks. Emma wrote the story. I drew the pictures. It was a story about a small bird that couldn't sing. The other birds made fun of him. They laughed because he was different. But one day, the small bird helped a baby bird who was lost. He didn't sing. He didn't speak. He just listened and stayed close. And that was enough. At the end of the story, the small bird finally sings. Just one note. But it's beautiful. "It's your story," Emma told me. "You are the bird." I looked at the last line in the script. The bird says one word. Home. That was the word Emma wanted me to say. On stage. In front of everyone. The day of the show arrived. I didn't eat breakfast. I didn't talk. I didn't smile. My hands were cold. My heart was fast. I wanted to run away, but when I got to school, Emma was there waiting for me. She gave me a small piece of paper. On it, she had written, "Whatever happens today, I'm proud of you." Those words helped me breathe. We sat backstage. I could hear the music, the noise, the laughter. Other classes were dancing, singing, playing instruments. Then the teacher called us. "Class 3B, you're next." My legs felt weak. My head was light. Emma squeezed my hand. "Just look at me," she whispered. The lights were bright. The room was full. Students, teachers, even parents. Emma started telling the story. Her voice was calm and clear. I held up the drawings, one by one. Each picture showed a part of the story. People watched. People smiled. And I started to feel something new. Not fear, but hope. Then came the final moment. The picture of the small bird alone in the tree. Emma looked at me. Everyone looked at me. I took a deep breath. I looked at the audience. So many faces. So many eyes. I opened my mouth and said, H, home. The word came out soft, but it came. The room was quiet for 1 second. Then people clapped. Not loud, not crazy, just soft claps, smiles, kind faces. Emma smiled at me. Her eyes were full of tears. Mine too. After the show, many people came to talk to me. "That was brave," one teacher said. "You did great," said another student. Even Liam walked by. He didn't say much, but he nodded. That small nod meant something. It meant he saw me, not as a joke, but as a person. Things didn't change overnight. I still had bad days. I still felt scared sometimes. But I had one word now, and that one word gave me strength to try again. Emma and I kept writing to each other. We started a story club. A few other students joined. We shared stories, drawings, ideas, and slowly I spoke more. One word, then two, then a sentence. Some days I stuttered, some days I stopped, but I always tried again, and Emma was always there. One afternoon, she asked me, "Why were you so afraid to speak before?" I thought for a moment. Then I wrote, "Because I thought my voice didn't matter." Emma looked at me for a long time. Then she said, "Your voice matters. To me, to others, to the world." And I believed her. For the first time in my life, I really believed her. But then, something happened. Something that would test everything I had learned. Something that would make me ask, can I still speak up when it truly matters? It started with a meeting. One Monday morning, our teacher came into class. Her face looked serious. "Boys and girls," she said, "I have some news. Emma will be moving to another city next month." My heart stopped. Moving? Leaving? Emma? I looked at her. She didn't smile. She looked down at her desk. I couldn't believe it. After school, I ran to her. "Is it true?" I wrote in my notebook. She nodded. "My dad got a new job. We have to go." I didn't know what to say. My hands shook as I held the pen. When I wrote, "In 3 weeks." 3 weeks? That wasn't enough time. Not for me. Not for everything she meant to me. For the next few days, I stayed quiet again. Not because I couldn't speak, but because I didn't know how to say goodbye. Emma still smiled. She still sat with me, but I felt different now. I felt scared again, and sad. One afternoon I asked her, "Are you sad too?" She nodded. "Yes. But I'm also happy." "Happy?" I asked. "Yes. Because we had this time together. You helped me too, Daniel. I looked at her, surprised. I did? Of course. You taught me how to be patient, how to really listen. You showed me how brave silence can be. That day, I didn't write anything. I just whispered, "Thank you." It was one of the clearest words I ever said. The last week of school came fast. Emma and I sat under the big tree one last time. We didn't say much. Then she gave me something. A small blue notebook. "This is for your stories," she said. "Write all of them down. And one day, say them out loud." I looked at the notebook. It was simple, but it felt heavy in my hands. Like a promise. "I will," I said. It was the first full sentence I spoke without fear. The next day, she was gone. Her desk was empty. Her chair, still. The classroom felt too big. The hallways felt too loud. And I felt small again. Weeks passed. Then months. I still used the notebook. I wrote every day. Sometimes, I shared stories with the club. Sometimes, I tried reading out loud. Little by little, grew stronger. My words grew too, but I missed her every day. One day, something strange happened. Liam came to the story club. He stood at the door for a minute, then said, "Can I join?" Everyone was quiet. I looked at him. He looked nervous. I nodded. He sat down. He didn't joke. He didn't laugh. He listened. After the club, he came to me. "I used to think talking was easy," he said. "But listening, that's hard." I nodded again. I understood. He smiled a little. "You're kind of cool, Daniel." That was all he said. But it meant a lot. Later that week, I opened my blue notebook. I started writing a new story. It was about a boy who didn't speak for years, until one day, he met someone who heard him even in silence. But then, halfway through, I stopped, because something new was about to happen. Something big. The school was planning a special event, an open mic, a stage, a microphone, and a chance to tell a story in front of everyone. The teacher asked our club, "Would anyone like to speak?" Everyone looked at me, even Liam, even the teacher. I felt that old fear, but I also felt something stronger. Not just fear, but purpose. I opened my mouth and said, "I will." But what if I couldn't do it? What if I froze again? What if everyone laughed? The stage was waiting, and so was the world. Would I be ready? The night before the open mic, I couldn't sleep. I lay in bed with my eyes open. My heart was loud again, just like it was that first day in class. What if I failed? What if the words didn't come? I looked at the small blue notebook beside me. I opened it slowly. On the first page, Emma had written, "Your voice matters, even when it's quiet." I touched the words with my fingers. Then I opened to the last page and wrote one more story. This one was mine, my real story. The next day at school, everyone was talking about the event. Students were practicing songs, poems, jokes, but I didn't practice out loud. I only read my story to myself, over and over, just me and the words. When my name was called, I stood up slowly. The room was full. I walked to the stage. My hands were shaking. My legs felt weak. The microphone looked so big, but I didn't run. I opened my notebook. I looked at the first line. Then I looked up at the crowd, and I said, "My name is Daniel," and I didn't speak for many years. The room went quiet, really quiet. Not the bad kind of quiet, but the kind that listens. I took a deep breath and continued. I was afraid, not of people, but of my voice. It didn't sound like other people's voices. It stopped. It broke. Sometimes, it just disappeared. I paused. But one day, someone listened. Her name was Emma. She didn't laugh. She didn't look away. She stayed. I looked at the back of the room. No Emma there, but I imagined her smile. She gave me a notebook, just like this one. She said, "Write your stories, and one day, say them out loud." I smiled. I didn't think I could, but here I am. I turned to the next page. And now, I want to say something to anyone who feels like I did. I looked up again. If you are quiet, it's okay. If you are scared, it's okay. But your voice matters. I felt my hands relax. The room was still quiet, but I was not afraid. I closed the notebook. That was it. No big speech, no perfect voice, just me speaking. Then someone clapped, then another, and another, then the whole room. People stood up. The sound was loud, but it didn't scare me. It warmed me, because I knew they weren't clapping for a perfect voice. They were clapping for something else. For courage, for growth, for truth. After the show, many people came to me. "Your story made me cry. You're so brave. Thank you for speaking." Even the teacher had tears in her eyes. "You helped more people than you know, Daniel," she said. That night, I sat on my bed. I looked at the blue notebook again, and I wrote one last line at the bottom of the page. I spoke, and they heard me, but just as I closed the book, my phone buzzed. It was a message from an unknown number. I opened it. It said, "Daniel, it's Emma. I watched your video. I have something to tell you." What did she want to tell me? And why now, after so long? I stared at the message. "Daniel, it's Emma. I watched your video. I have something to tell you." My hand started shaking. It had been almost 2 years since she left. I read the message again and again. Then I typed back, "Emma, is it really you?" A few seconds passed. Then, "Yes. I saw your open mix story online. Someone posted it." I cried. "You were amazing." I smiled. My heart felt full. But then I saw the second part of her message. "There's something I never told you." My smile faded a little. What didn't she tell me? I asked. "What is it?" She replied, "When I first came to that school, I was lonely. I missed my old friends. I felt like I didn't fit in. Then I met you. Everyone saw you as the quiet boy. But I saw something else. I saw someone strong, someone kind, someone who noticed everything, even in silence." I didn't know what to say. Then she wrote, "I think you saved me, Daniel." I just never said it out loud. I sat there, staring at my screen. My eyes were full of tears. Me? I saved her? I thought back to that first day under the tree. The stories, the drawings, the laughter. I thought she had helped me, but maybe we helped each other. Emma kept writing, "I always believed in your voice. I'm so proud of you. Never stop telling your stories." Then, "Can I call you?" I froze. A phone call? I had never spoken to Emma on the phone. I had never spoken much to anyone on the phone. But now, maybe I could. I took a deep breath. Then I replied, "Yes, I'd like that." The phone rang. My heart raced. Then her voice came through. "Hi, Daniel." I smiled. "Hi, Emma." There was a pause. Then she laughed. "You sound like you." I laughed too. "Thanks. I've been practicing." We talked for 30 minutes. Then an hour. We talked about school, about our stories, about the future, and it felt easy, natural, right. After the call, I sat quietly. The blue notebook was still on my bed. I opened it one more time. I turned to the back cover and wrote. My voice used to be small. Then someone listened. And now, I speak not just for me, but for others who are still afraid. Today, I visit schools. I tell my story to kids who are scared, shy, or silent. I show them my notebook. I say, your voice may shake, it may stop, but it's still yours, and the world needs it. Sometimes, I still stutter. Sometimes, I still pause. But I never stop trying, because I remember what Emma said.